All right, good morning, everyone. So it's just about 9 a.m. and we've got RVSN as our leading gapper. So I'm adding back to this here. First 5-minute candle to make a new high. I want to see if we get the break through 25. So my add spot is going to be 23 and 24 for that ascension. We've got 22 on the ask right now. It's a little heavy. Looking for the break through 23, 24. It's up 62% and it is our leading gapper. So watching the high through 25. So looking, as I see the level 2, I look for 22 to thin out and then to start to add for 23, 24, 25. I think what we've got going for us today, I've already traded this one a couple times. It's our leading gapper. So a lot of people are watching it. It's got a lot of eyes on it. High of this candle's 22, so new order goes at 22. So let's watch over 222, and if 222 starts to thin out, I'm going to add there. This is our leading, added right there, 22. So this is our leading gapper in the market this morning, and a little profit 23. It didn't break through 25. Is it going to break through 25? Give it a chance. Come on, can you break? And I'm just taking it off at 22. It just doesn't feel like it's breaking. So we have a almost picture perfect double top here. I'm going to have to let it pull back and then try to buy the next dip for the next rally back up. So we've got that double top resistance, the previous high 225. I'll let it pull back and then I'll try again on the next attempt. The unfortunate thing is that this has higher volume and is a red candle. I was a little concerned about the possible risk. As I mentioned, that this, there we go. It could be slow because it's very thickly traded. The good news is the float is 7.2 million shares and it's already got 11 million shares of volume. So we already have 1 times float rotation, right? So high relative volume, extremely high relative volume. All-time high on it is 314. So if it can start to break through some of these critical levels, then we've got something that we can work with. So that's what I'm hoping that we see through 225, 230, 240, and then up to 250, and then retest of the all-time high at 315. That's optimistic, but you know, that would be nice. The thing that I'm hesitant on is that the news is just all I saw was a price target increase, so it doesn't feel super substantial. At the same time, it's our leading gapper. It's up 61%. Traders are interested, so I don't want to ignore something that's clearly moving. So this is the level to watch. On the one hand, I could add at 225. On the other hand, if I can buy a dip, that'll position me much better. So we'll watch dips. This is ascending support. The 20 moving average is at 211. So if we pull back to the 20 moving average, then that could give me a little opportunity. Yes, Peter, it is. But for those who signed up for it, we were doing a couple of workshops, a couple Q&A sessions, just to give something there for those folks, but we're not teaching the full curriculum. So thank you for those tuning in for the morning show. Appreciate you guys being here as always. So see how we're pulling back a little bit here. And essentially, we have a doji, double top on a doji. It's not my favorite pattern right now. I really would have preferred it broken through that level. You know, but with some of these lower price stocks, you can pick off, you know, one trade here, two trades there, get a little something on it. The support on the 5-minute chart is a little trickier because you don't really have support until 204, and then the VWAP is at $2 even. So that's not as clean. I'm definitely curious. You know, part of me wants to try a dip trade on it here, and then the other part of me is like, you know, this market hasn't been super forgiving on some of these dip trades. The 5-minute has more room to pull back. You know, the 1-minute just broke the 20 moving average. Let's just wait for a second. So in a hotter market, I probably would have bought that dip right there. In this market right now, I'm gonna just wait. So short of something else popping up, someone mentioned STSS. Yeah, so it popped up early 4 a.m. and it's pulled back quite a bit. ACON. So this one I lost some money on this day when it popped up to 405, I think it was, and just rejected. It was pretty nasty. So I'm not super interested in that one. I don't feel super confident on it. Well, LTHM, I am not as interested in. There's a couple issues. Number one, the price is a bit higher, $21. Number two, the float's a bit higher to 118 million shares. Number three, it's not a blue sky setup. It's not a particularly, I mean, if it gets over 32, but we're a ways off of that. So I'm just not sure that I'm feeling it. And to answer the question of where was my first trade on RVSN, my first trade was the break of $2. So that was my first trade. I got in at $1.9798 for the break of 2. So that was my first entry. A little extended, but that was a breakthrough high and the whole dollar. So I did like that setup, and that worked. That was a good trade. And then had another trade on this pullback right here, first 1-minute candle to make a new high, and then took another trade right there at the very beginning of the morning show for the breakthrough 25. So we've got about 22 and a half minutes to the opening bell. I'm in okay shape, I suppose, on the day, but we don't have a lot to work with. We really only have one stock that's holding up, and it's a cheaper one. It's a bit more thickly traded, so that can be a little tricky. So you can see you're pulling back a little bit more. The low of that candle was 203. So the high of this last candle was 214. The low here was 203. So a 10-cent drop. It's in the middle though right now at 206, 207. So let's see if this is a bear flag where it drops, it pops, and then drops again. Yes, SATL does have good news, but I don't like this pattern. I don't like how much that pulled back. So for me to be bullish on it, it's got to get back above like 14, 15. It could, but the volume is so high to the sell side. High volume red candles, just can't trust it. So RVSN, double bottom is 203. You've got 204 on the bid right now. I'm going to take a quick starter there at 206. I only filled a partial fill. That was an attempt at a double bottom with the low of 203. Now, I don't know if it's going to break and we get the first 5-minute candle to make a new high back over 214, but we've got 209 on the ask. I want to see it break through 210. There's 209 on the ask. It's not breaking. I'm going to sell it flat. I can try again. My average was 206, which is a little high. So, you know, if I'm taking that first candle, it's got to go. LTHM. Nice. Yep. Nice green candle there. We'll keep it on watch. Float on RVSN is 7.2 million shares. And we've got about 14 million shares of volume. So we already have 2 times float rotation pre-market. But the 5-minute false breakout, well, double top false breakout, and then 3 dojis in a row coming back down. About 18.5 minutes to the opening bell. Yes, anytime, you know, taking a trade below the moving averages, you know, like on RVSN, not ideal. Sometimes though, because this is sort of squeezed and between the volume weight average price and the moving average, VWAP is a pretty good level of support usually. We're also at the 9 on the 5. So I think we have more support here than resistance, but at the same time, it didn't break. I would have thought it would have broken there. So, you know, I don't know. This could just be another bear flag for another sell-off. And what we could do is we could watch it around $2 and see if around 2 there's some big buyers on the bid, and maybe I can get an entry at like 201, 203, something like that, 204. And then maybe it does start stair-stepping back up. Right here it's stair-stepping down. Step down, sideways. Step down, sideways. So this needs to break through about 211 to show it's stepping up. You know, which this candle right now is looking like it's maybe going green. So this could be a pivot. I'll take a long there at 211. Let's see if it wants to curl. Now the add spot for me is going to be at 214. I'm into at 211. We're looking for the first candle to make a new high, and then we're looking for that move back up to 220, right? So this is definitely bottomed out here. So now watching over 214, 215 for the retest of 220. The high of this candle is 216. That's not bad. So there's 12 on the ask, there's 13. Adding at 13. 13 is starting to thin out a little bit on the level 2. So then 14 comes up next. So looking for the break of 13. And then we've got 14 and then 15. And let's see whether or not this thing wants to go back up to 220. There's 14 on the ask. Is it thinning out? If it does, I'm going to add again at 14. Watching for just one order left. Added at 14. It thinned out. Now we're looking for 15 and 16 and 17. You know, this is obviously a stock where we're trading kind of for pennies, but this is a 5-minute setup. So now over 16, 17, 18, looking for the move back through 20. So there's 15 on the ask. So added there at 15. Now there's 16 on the ask. So let's see, does this rally back up to 220? It is our leading gapper. So there's 16 on the ask and a little thick, so taking a little off the table there. 12 is my average, holding a smaller position. The high is 16, new order goes at 20. Average is 12. So let's see if this pops back through that level. The high is 16. So I'm going to let 16 thin out, and then if it thins out, I can add back at 16. Add back what I sold. So we've got 11 on the bid, 12 on the ask. High of this 5-minute candle is 16. Bought back at 12 to buy the dip. Now looking for 14 and 15, and we'll see if we get back over 16. This is a 1-minute pullback. $15 million shares of volume in total right now. Up 57%, making it our leading gapper. We've got 14 minutes to the opening bell. Flat at 11, gave back a couple cents versus my 12 average. Notice how it sort of, volume just sort of like slowed down there. It just kind of went quiet. So I don't usually like to hold something break even when that's happening. If I'm already up quite a lot, that's fine, but not when I'm up only break even. So back to flat with 13 minutes to the opening bell. So as we get closer to the opening bell, I'll probably just leave an order up around 225. And if we break through that level, then, you know, that's fine. The volume right now is certainly lower than it was as it spiked up here. So maybe kind of just need to wait for this 5-minute pattern to get a little cleaner. SOUN moving a little bit. Yeah, such a sell-off. I'm going to leave that one alone. So with 12 minutes to the bell, I don't see anything else that's more interesting right now. So we'll continue to be focused on RVSN. We'll be hopeful that we do get some nice opportunities out of the gates, but You know, we may not. For those tuning in on YouTube, appreciate you guys hitting the thumbs up as always. Really does make a huge difference for the channel. Yeah, when I'm looking for it to thin out, it's because I'm thinking it's going to move up to the next level. So if I can be the last person to buy before it thins out, before it breaks, then I'm getting in at that lower price, and then it breaks. Same with if we see a 20,000 or whatever share seller, you know, if it's 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, I could buy 10,000 shares right there and get filled at that price before it breaks to the next price. So I'm getting in at a better price. So I like to buy as it's thinning out. That way I can be kind of the last buyer before it breaks to the next level. All right, so this is an ABCD pattern, but it really needs to get back over 21. Nice, good job. Green is good, right? About 7.5 minutes to the opening bell. Tomorrow's a new day, and you should always practice in a simulator before you put real money on the line. High of this candle 16. Starter there for me at 17. New orders at 20. I'm gonna put it at 25, kind of move it up. This is that ascending pattern. I don't know if it's gonna work, but it's starting to pull away. So the levels that we want to watch are 20 and then 21, 22 for the break of 25. We might double top at 25 because that's right around ascending resistance here, but I think we have a shot at least of getting to 25. So let's see what it does at 25. High there's 23. So my average is 17, which could position me well for a trade going into the open. And certainly if we can break through the highs and start to pull away, I could start to size up for a move up to 250. So I'm going to leave my order at 228. I'm going to move it up just a little higher. I do think that this is the obvious one. The high there is 23. So I'm going to watch for... So I think there's two ways to trade this. One is to add for the break of 23.25 with a target of 30.35. Like we're going to squeeze up right here. The other is to take profit at 25. And given we've got 5 minutes to the opening bell, I feel like this is setting up well for a break of 25 at the open. So I'm kind of more inclined to try to add more size for the breakthrough to 25, whether that happens pre-market or it happens in the first 5 minutes, I'm not sure. But this pattern, you know, this is again like stepping back and looking at this pattern. Okay, this is a flat top breakout pattern. 225 is the high. Volume is coming back up. We've got a nice bid at 19. So, you know, this might work for us. We'll see. There's 21 thinning out a little bit. So there's 22. Thinning out a little bit now. So we gonna see 23. Not yet. So we're still just in this consolidation. We're looking for the break of 23. 24,000 shares on the bid. 4.5 minutes to the opening bell. So I think what I'm going to do on this, I'm going to hold it for a second and I'm going to look to add through 23 and 24 and see if I can get positioned. Watching right down here. So we've got 20,000 on the bid. $22 on the ask. I'm watching 22 to thin out. I just added at 21. There's 22 thinning out. Now I'm going to look to add at 23. Added right there, 23. Now let's look for the breakthrough 24 and add at 25, 26. My average is 21. So what I'm kind of thinking on this is we break 25, added there at 25, and there's a nice move. I'll take a little profit off the table as it comes up to 28. New orders at 230. Watching it add back. Added at 229. Now we're pulling away and we're going to look for a move up to 31. So there's 30 on the ask, taking a little profit off the table at 30. Is it going to go to 31 and 32? There's 31, there's 33. That's not bad. Can't really complain about that too much, right? Taking a little more profit off the table as it gets up here to the 30s. And it's going to put me just over 10. So now we've got a little stretch of green candles, right? Our high is 33. Let's refer back to this pattern. So notice I'm still holding 1,000 shares right now. This is a retest right down here. I'm watching the retest at 25 is important. Is it going to hold 25? So I just added there at 28. I'm trying to buy the retest of 25. And then what I want to do is I want to add back over 30. So putting my new order at 32. What I'm trying to position myself for on this is buying this 1 minute pullback for the breakthrough 230 at the open, or of course pre-market is fine too. And then looking for a squeeze up to 35 and 40. We're up 68%, so this is our leading gapper. We could halt. That would obviously be wonderful if we did, if we halted up. All-time high is 315. Okay, so let's watch back over 30. First 1 minute candle added there at 30. Now we're looking for the break of 31 and 32. We haven't gotten the first 1 minute candle to make a new high yet. New order for me is going up at 37. We've got 30 seconds to the opening bell. I'm going to put up my reminder as always that trading is risky. I'm going to keep trading here. If we can get 1,000 thumbs up on YouTube, I'll keep trading here and we'll finish up this trade. So watch now at the open for the breakthrough the pre-market high of 33. Got about 5 seconds to the opening bell, and I'm looking to add because we're opening right near the pre-market highs. So added right there. Now looking for 35. Do we get 37? Next adds 37. There's 35 on the ask. Watching 35 to thin out and then add at 36, 37. Taking it off the table for right now, watching for a dip, holding smaller size. It couldn't break through 35, added at 24. Average is 28. I'm gonna let it come up for a second attempt at 30. There's 27 on the ask. There's 28. There's 29, looking for 30, then a rip back through 35. Adding at 32. Going back to flat on it for now at 28. So volume 2 million shares in this first 1 minute candle. It didn't break through 37. But all things considered, this gave us some good opportunities here. We're a bit extended on the 5 minute chart. I was hoping that we would get a little more parabolic, that we would kind of really squeeze into the open, and we didn't. But that's okay. Still a green trade. RVSN still pulling back a bit. RVSN back at VWAP. Quick dip there for me at 13. Looking for the pop back up to 16, 17. A little short covering off volume weighted average price. There's 15 on the ask. There's 17. Took a little profit there at 16. Average is 12. That's a bounce off VWAP setup. Flat on the rest. Yes, TNON, I see that. Not really sure what to think about it. Volume is light, price is higher, float's pretty low. RVSN. We'll keep it on watch over the high, 235. Yeah, the problem with these recent IPOs is what we've seen where, you know, you get the slam back down. So I just don't want to get caught in that. Okay, so well, that finished the RVSN trade for the time being. So captured some decent profit on that. But as always, reminder, trading is risky. Most beginner traders do lose money, so trade cautiously. I'll be back at it for the morning show first thing tomorrow morning, right around 9 a.m. Here on YouTube. So thank you guys for hitting a thumbs up. Thank you for being here this morning. I'll be continuing to stream for Warrior Pro All Access members, and hopefully we add a little more profit to the day. So far, this has been actually the biggest green day of the week for me, and it's only 9:35, so let's see what else we have. Those tuned in on YouTube, thank you again as always for being here, and I'll put a link up in the top corner right up here if you want to learn a little bit more about entries and exits, time your entries and exits. I have a video that you guys can check out, so check that out. I'll put it right here in the top corner.